While the Bible can sometimes feel like a dense textbook full of hard-to-follow genealogies, the story of Noah's Ark is a high-octane drama about survival in ancient engineering marvel. It is a story so powerful that it doesn't just exist in the Bible. Nearly every ancient culture, from the Sumerians to the Greeks, and even indigenous North American tribes, has its own version of a world-ending flood and a hero who built a boat to save humanity. The story begins roughly 10 generations after the first humans walked the earth, and the world had become a pretty dark place. The narrative describes a planet corrupt and filled with violence, where people were so caught up in their own chaos that God decided to hit the delete key on the entire creation. This wasn't just about a rainy week. Theologians describe the flood as an uncreation, or a reversal of the universe's beginning. Imagine the waters above and the waters below that were separated at the start of the world suddenly rushing back together, returning the earth to a state of watery chaos. It was as if the breathable bubble of the atmosphere was collapsing, and the primeval cosmic ocean was reclaiming the land. But in the middle of this mess was one man named Noah, whom God found righteous in a world that had lost its way. God didn't just tell Noah to get a boat. He gave him the very specific high-tech blueprint for a massive survival vessel. The ark wasn't the cute, rounded boat with the little house on top that you see in children's books. In Hebrew, the word for ark actually means a chest or a box. It was a rectangular vase designed for one thing: staying afloat in a disaster. To give you a sense of the scale without drowning you in ancient numbers, if the ark were built today, its volume and weight would be roughly equivalent to a modern 21,000-ton ship. It featured 3 internal decks, which some scholars believe served as a miniature model of the entire universe: heaven, earth, and the underworld. There was a thrilling microcosm, a backup drive for all of life. The construction was no weekend DIY project. Noah had to use a mystery material called gopher wood and seal the entire thing inside and out with pitch, the type of waterproof bitumen or tar, to ensure it didn't leak. Noah also had to figure out how to manage a floating zoo. This is where the narrative gets complex, as different traditions express different numbers for the animals. Some say a single pair of every species, while others imply 7 pairs of certain clean animals and only 1 pair of unclean ones. Jewish folklore adds a layer of mystery here, implying the animals actually made themselves known by kneeling before Noah as they entered the ark. Once the doors were shut, the world literally broke apart. The sources describe the fountains of the great deep bursting open and the floodgates of heaven breaking apart. This wasn't just rain. It was the planet's internal water systems and the sky itself failing. If you think being stuck at home for a week is bad, imagine Noah's reality. According to some traditions, Noah didn't sleep for an entire year because he was constantly feeding and caring for the animals. There was even 15th century speculation about the grueling logistics of the ark, including how they circulated fresh air through the skylight and disposed of all the waste through trapdoors into the sea. Modern science has actually taken a look at whether a box like that could survive such a nightmare. naval architects conducted safety investigations using scale models of the Ark's dimensions. They discovered that the Ark's rectangular design had a superior level of safety in high winds and massive waves compared to many other possible hull forms. In fact, their research suggested that the Ark was so stable it could have navigated through waves as high as a 10-story building and remained upright until waves reached heights that would tower over almost any modern skyscraper. It was essentially a drifting ship, with a reasonable length-to-beam ratio designed for the ultimate survival mission. But the story doesn't end when the rain stops. The Ark eventually came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, in what is now modern-day Turkey. Noah didn't just walk out immediately. He had to test if the world was ready for a comeback. He famously released a raven and then a dove. When the dove finally returned with an olive branch, he knew life was returning to the soil. For those on board, this was a rebirth. God established a covenant, or a massive legal promise with Noah, vowing never to destroy the earth with a flood again. And he put a rainbow in the sky as a permanent receipt or sign for that promise. If you're thinking, this is just an old story, you might be surprised to learn that people are still looking for the Ark today using the latest technology. There is a site called Narration, located just south of Mount Ararat, that has fascinated researchers for decades. In 2019, a research team didn't just use shovels. They used ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR, which uses lasers to create detailed 3D maps of the terrain. They discovered distinct geometric patterns and rectangular-shaped reflections deep beneath the surface of the boat-shaped formation. While scientists and researchers still debate whether these are natural geological layers or the remnants of a man-made structure, the scans show angular reflections that suggest something unique is buried there. The story of the Ark is so ingrained in our human DNA that it pops up in almost every culture's legend category. In the Sumerian version, a hero named Ziusudra is warned by the gods to build a boat. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, a man named Utnapishtim survives a flood sent because humans were being too noisy for the gods to sleep. Even the ancient Greeks told of Deucalion, who built a chest to survive a flood sent by Zeus. In North America, the Blackfeet people speak of a great flood that swept through the land, after which an old man deity gathered people on a mountain and gave them different colored waters, which led to the creation of different languages. These aren't just coincidences. They represent a human craving for life and a collective memory of a time when the world seemed to reset. So, why does the story matter to you today? Because it hits on themes that never go out of style. The feeling that the world is chaotic, the need for a safe space, and the hope for a fresh start. The Ark acts as a floating bridge between an old, broken world and a new, promising one. Even the details of the story, like the olive branch and the rainbow, have become global symbols for peace and hope that we use every day. Some researchers believe these myths were inspired by real, massive floods caused by melting glaciers, or even asteroid impacts in the Indian Ocean that generated giant tsunamis. Whether it was a global event or a localized disaster in the Middle East, perhaps caused by the Black Sea flooding thousands of years ago, the core message remains. The Ark wasn't just a boat. It was a microcosm, a small version of everything worth saving. It reminds us that even when the windows of heaven and fountains of the deep seem to be opening up and causing chaos in our lives, there is often a blueprint for survival. It's a story about resilience, about working together to stay afloat, and about the promise that the storm will eventually end. The mystery of the Ark continues to lure people to the mountains of Turkey with laser scanners and radar, not just to find wood and pitch, but to find a connection to a moment when humanity refused to give up. In the end, the story of Noah's Ark is about a world remade. It asks us why the world is imperfect and explores the meaning of human struggle. But its final answer is about covenant, law, and forgiveness. It is a manual for resilience that has been loading for thousands of years, reminding us that we are all looking for a way to stay afloat when the storms come. It's not just an old Sunday school story. It's a narrative about a culture hero who represents our deepest desire to survive, rebuild, and look for that rainbow on the other side of the clouds.